Okay, guys, you guys have been introduced to kinetic and potential energy. And kinetic energy is the energy of motion, potential energy is the stored energy. And remember, the conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only changed forms. Okay? And we can actually use the model of a roller coaster to show this. All right? So, at what position does the roller coaster have the greatest potential energy or the greatest stored energy? Is it W, X, Y, or Z? It's going to be W. The reason why it's W is because there's a lot more height. There is a lot more stored energy here than here. There's even more stored energy at W than there is X. So the answer is W, and it is the highest motion waiting to happen, or most stored energy waiting to be used. Okay? At what position, so we can actually go ahead and say this one has a very high potential. Okay? At what position does the roller coaster have the greatest kinetic energy? I want you guys to think about this. Potential and kinetic energy serves as a ratio. When there's more kinetic energy, there's less potential energy. When there's more potential energy, there's less kinetic energy. If the roller coaster is up at W and is not moving, it's just staying there, does it have any kinetic energy? No. So it's going to be 100% potential, 0% kinetic. So at what position does the roller coaster have the greatest kinetic energy? It's going to be X. There are two ways you can remember this. Okay, first of all, it just went down the steepest slope. But also, where's the place with the lowest potential energy? Right here, because it's closer to the ground, less potential. Okay, so this has a really high kinetic energy and a very low potential energy. So I would explain this as motion down the steepest slope. And remember, if that is confusing to you, you're asking why isn't Z faster or why isn't Y? Remember, the potential energy is the lowest here, so therefore we know that the kinetic energy is the highest. All right, at what position does the car have the least potential energy? Well, I just gave you the answer. This has the most potential kinetic, so it's going to have the least kinetic. And why? Because it is the point with the highest kinetic energy. All right, last but not least, at which point X or Z, so X or Z, does the car have more potential energy? Let's approach this two ways. Which spot between X or Z has the highest kinetic? X. Okay, it's just going to have a low potential energy. Does this have more or less kinetic? It has less kinetic, so it's going to have more potential. It's also at a higher point. There's more potential of movement, less potential here, okay, the height. So it would be Z has less kinetic energy and more potential energy because there's more motion waiting to happen. Thanks, guys.